If you've never heard of I'm Solo before, well, you've just found your new binge-worthy Korean dating show that never ends. Unlike other seasonal shows, this one airs new episodes every single week without a break. Subscribe so we can dive into the season's recap and the controversies that unfolded afterwards. Let's get into season 24, featuring the concept of nerd contestants. This is arguably one of the most entertaining seasons yet. Starting off, there's Young-soo, a 39-year-old veterinarian. Next is Young-ho, 38, a developer at a startup. But the one to watch this season is Young-sik, a 32-year-old civil servant who falls head over heels for someone, even confessing his love after less than a week of knowing her. Next up is Young-char, a 33-year-old professional judo athlete who has competed in the Olympics. Then there's Kwang-soo, also 33, a startup COO. And lastly, Sang-char, 35, a veterinarian for large animals. Now on to the women. First up, there's Young-suk, 31, a civil servant, and who honestly is someone who deserved more screen time. Next is Chung-suk, 32, a former team leader who is now starting her own business. Then Soon-ja, 33, another civil servant. She's a vegetarian, which sparks a lot of conversation later, especially with her dating matches. Following is Young-ja, 35, a freelancer and CEO of a children's playtime company. Next is Ok-soon, 37, who claims to work at KT, one of Korea's major companies. She's also one to watch, being the only person in the show's history to go on a 5-on-1 date. In her intro, she mentions freezing her eggs and looking for the father of her children on this show. Lastly, we have Hyun-suk, 35, a pharmacist who wants 4 kids. After everyone arrives, they start by choosing who made the best impression on them.
옥수님, 저랑 같이 사진 찍으실까요?
네. 제가 1순위일 것 같아가지고.
이야, 대단하다.
The men select their first pick to take a picture with and their second pick to take the picture.
예.
찍어주시겠어요?
In the end of the men's first impression picks, Young-suk, Young-ja, and Hyun-suk have 0 votes.
이제부터 시작하면 되니까.
맞아.
And Soon-ja with the most from 3 men, leaving Ok-soon dumbfounded.
근데 몰표 안 받은 거?
기억에 남는 순간이요?
In the women's first impression, no one picks the first 3 men, leaving Young-char with 2 votes, Kwang-soo with 2 votes, and Sang-char with 2 votes. In the car, Ok-soon wastes no time turning up the charm, saying she's not nervous about the show, just about being around Kwang-soo, leaving Chung-suk with that look. But Chung-suk holds her own and fires right back, keeping up with Ok-soon's boldness.
있어요?
저 만족. 와.
먼저 보자.
But then she makes the mistake of calling him by the wrong name when she says she'll wear Young-sik's jacket to keep warm instead of Kwang-soo's. Before we go any further, let's talk about the names. The premise of I'm Solo and its never-ending seasons is that these are just regular Korean people, meaning the show will never run out of contestants. To protect their privacy, they're given pre-chosen names, each carrying a reputation built over the years. At the end of the season, when they choose their match, they reveal their real name to that person as part of the finale. Now back to where we were. Everyone settles in for dinner, and Ok-soon does this. In Korea, people usually keep their hands to themselves, so this is seen as a pretty big gesture. At the end of dinner, Young-ho realizes he likes Young-ja for her bubbly personality. Later, when they move outside for a barbecue, they play rock, paper, scissors to decide who gets to assign seats. After watching Soon-ja take charge, Young-char starts developing an interest in her. During a baseball chat, Chung-soo gets so excited she starts shaking and slapping Kwang-soo, her first impression pick.
내일 봐야 돼요. 내일 완전 간신히.
The MCs know some people might not like that, but Kwang-soo does. He even offers to get her his jacket.
저 어때요?
완전 잘 어울려요.
Kwang-soo also gives both Chung-suk and Ok-soon hand warmers, while Soon-ja watches his every move. And rightfully so.
주시고 뭐 정숙님한테도 핫팩 주시고 하는데 사진은 나랑 찍자고 했는데 저도 바로 앞에 있는데 저한테는 핫팩 안 주시는 거예요.
Young-soo asks Ok-soon a question which she refuses to answer and insists she'll only tell him if they go on a one-on-one date.
진짜
Which leads him to believe that she's interested in him. Oksun then starts a conversation with Young-sik,
말해주세요.
별 보는 거 좋아해요?
아, 당연히 좋아하죠.
별 보러 갔다 오자.
which confuses Young-soo because she was just flirting with him just minutes before. When they go for a walk, Young-sik says that Oksun is one of the big stars and asks if he can be a little star next to her, but makes it a point in his interview to say this.
그렇게 제가 뭐 돌진한다 이런 게 아니었습니다, 저는. 네네.
Oh, how wrong you will be, sir. Later on, Oksun ends up talking to both Youngchar and Youngho by the end of the night. Honestly, this part of the video is just to show how many guys she flirted with, not even 24 hours in. Now, allegedly, she taught a class on how to flirt with men before coming on the show. As part of this class, she supposedly wasn't allowed to appear on TV, but she broke her contract and cut ties with all her students and coworkers just to join I Am Solo anyway. Now, I can't say for sure that's true, but it would explain why she was so confident in her ability to win over all the men. And her reasoning of talking to every single man was because she didn't want to block any possibilities. So let's see if this strategy actually works in her favor.
여자들은 나쁘게 생각하고 욕하겠죠. 근데 당하는 남자들은 좋아하더라고요. 당한 남자들
좋아한대.
At the end of the night, Youngho asks to chat with Youngja and he confesses that he's interested in her, which led to this response.
아, 저한테요?
네.
And for some reason, this girl laughs at everything. It's just her natural reaction, but sometimes it can come off the wrong way. Like when someone is opening up about their feelings, she just laughs. Even the guy had to ask, is it that embarrassing that he likes her? In the first episode, when her friends dropped her off, they told her not to laugh too loudly, so it's definitely a habit of hers. So I don't know, would you guys see that as charming or inappropriate? The next day, it's the women's turn to choose their dates. The men take turns calling out something along the lines of
아이고.
영식인데!
아이고.
아, 되게 좋다.
나! 외로워!
and the women step out to the one they've chosen for their first date. Youngsoo matches with Oksun, Sunja and Yongsuk chooses Youngchar, Youngja and Jeongsuk chooses Kwangsu, and Hyungsuk and Sangchar match with each other again, with these two men ending up with 0 votes. And while the others are on their dates, they eat black bean noodles at home and practice asking the women out later, which I think is really sweet.
둘 중에서 좀 안 피곤하신 분, 아 이러면 안 되잖아. 한 명만 하라니까.
During the dates, Youngchar and Sunja chat away as he realizes they share similar values, which makes Yongsuk feel awkward and a little left out. Kwangsu leans more towards Jeongsuk, and Hyungsuk realizes that her and Sangchar's personalities are too different. When everyone gets home from their date, Yongsik actually tells Oksun that he was practicing how to ask her out for a chat. They sit down and Yongsik says that if he wins a super date ticket, which they get by winning competitions, then he'll use it to have a one-on-one date with her, and jokes that Oksun won't be able to turn him down then. But Oksun responds saying that she wouldn't want to reject him anyway. She wants to go on a date with him too.
너 너무 귀엽다.
갑자기?
애기야 너 몇 살이야?
But Oksun ends the night by talking to Youngchar to tell him that she is interested in him. When she asked him if he's ever dated an older woman before, she says,
연상의 참맛을 누나가 알게 해줄게.
강한데?
she even says that her eggs are ready for him.
누나 난자도 있어. 난자도 얼려놨어. 신선한.
아, 진짜.
Meanwhile, Sunja and Kwangsu end up talking until 4 in the morning. The following morning, Yongsik makes an omelet for Oksun, and he promises that he'll make her food the next morning too.
내가 찾아갈게.
준비하고 있으래.
The 4th episode ends by revealing that the men will choose their dates next, but their choice will be revealed 6 hours later, with a randomly selected date first. Each woman and man are randomly matched by picking a quote from a previous season. I remember how Yongsik asked Oksun to be a little star next to her. He just so happens to pick a quote very similar to his situation.
별처럼 빛나는 너 옆에서 나도 잠깐 빛을 낼 수 있어서 좋았어. 너의 드라마에서 나는 그냥 지나가는 조연일지도 모르지만 내 드라마의 주인공은 너였어. 고마워.
Which prompted this response from him in his interview.
그 대사가 나오더라고요. 랜덤으로 뽑았는데 제 상황과 너무 흡사하잖아요. 옥순이는 그때 반짝이는 별이었거든요.
Theme of the season is literally nerds, so it's clear that this is all pretty new to him. Oksun kept reaffirming him, making him feel special, and it really got his hopes up. We'll see how this plays out. Next episode, the guys will be choosing their dates, so we'll find out who Youngchar and Kwangsu picked. I know this is a new channel and I'm still getting the hang of things, so every share and like really boosts the channel. It would mean the world if you subscribe, and if you change your mind later, that's totally fine too. I'm so excited to read your comments down below and hear your thoughts on I Am Solo. Thank you so much for watching.